So today I want to talk about what I think Leon's full team will be for the Masters 8 Tournament Finals, as well as the matchups I think we could see happen with each Pokemon, and discuss what I think his main trio will be if this does turn out to be a 3v3. This will be my last Masterclass team video because Ash is going to be sticking to his Journeys team, and we already know what Pokemon Lance and Diantha are going to be using, so I don't need to talk about them. When it comes to Leon's team, I'll be choosing from all of his known Pokemon in the games, under the assumption that he owns every starter Pokemon, since in case you didn't know, once you pick your starter in the beginning of the Sword and Shield games, Leon picks the one that's strongest against yours, and because of that his team and supporting Pokemon, outside of a few of them, are different based on that starter. And since Ash didn't get a Galar starter, it's safe to assume that Leon has at least one more starter, even if Hop has one, but since that's unconfirmed and because I think he has more than just Rillaboom, I'll be choosing from his Cinderace and Inteleon team as well. With that being said, let's begin. So the first Pokemon for Leon's team is obviously his partner Charizard, who we know is going to Gigantamax. I know we saw him use Rillaboom in the first round, and I think he may use another Gigantamax starter in the second, whether it be Inteleon or Cinderace, but when it comes to the finals, he'll 100% be using Gigantamax Charizard. The second Pokemon I think he'll be using is Dragapult. Dragapult is Galar's pseudo-legendary Pokemon, and is one of Leon's best Pokemon, which is why it's on all of his Sword and Shield teams, no matter which version of the team he has, so I can definitely see him using it in battle, whether it's a 3-on-3 or a 6-on-6, especially since it could be used against Ash's Dracovish and Dragonite, who's Kanto's pseudo-legendary Pokemon, which could make for a great matchup. For his third Pokemon, I wanted to choose a member from his Inteleon team, so I'm going with Mr.Rime. Mr.Rime is the Galarian evolution of Mr. Mime and is an Ice and Psychic type, so I could definitely see it being used to battle against Ash's Dragon or Fighting types, which makes up most of his team, so I can see it giving Dragonite and Sirfetch'd some trouble if they were to match up against it. The fourth Pokemon I can see him using is Aegislash. Aegislash is another Pokemon that's on all of his teams, and it's probably the most fitting Pokemon for Leon to have since it's the Sword and Shield Pokemon, so I'm 100% certain we'll see it in this tournament and in the final battle. I can see Pikachu or even Gengar taking this on in a ghost type battle since fighting type moves won't work on it, but it'll be pretty interesting to see how this battle goes since Gengar knows Will-O-Wisp and Aegislash is also part Steel. So Gengar, despite being a jobber for most of the series, could actually end up with a big win if it defeats Aegislash in this battle. The fifth Pokemon I want to add to this team is Rhyperior. Rhyperior is on his Rillaboom team and is a Pokemon that provides great coverage because of the moves that it can learn, and even though Ash has Pokemon that can use super effective moves against it, I don't see this matchup being easy because we've seen Leon change up his moveset to counter his opponent. So because of that, I think this will be a great test for Ash's Pokemon to overcome and a great addition to Leon's team, especially if we get to see Pikachu take on Rhyperior, who will have a disadvantage against it. So now for the sixth and final Pokemon, there are three options to choose from, so I'll go over all of them before giving you my actual pick. I think the best option would be Haxorus since it's one of his top 3 Pokemon and a pseudo-legendary, plus it's a guaranteed member on all of his full teams in Sword and Shield, which makes it very likely that we'll see it in this tournament, but because it's already Iris' signature Pokemon, I don't see him using it in a battle against Ash since we already saw him beat a Haxorus earlier in the series. The second option is a Galar starter. In this case it would be Inteleon or Cinderace since I don't see him using Rillaboom again. I could see this happening for a couple of reasons, the first being that it would help represent all the Galar starters in the anime, and the second reason being that it could give Leon, the champion of Galar, a chance to show off what's possible with their regional starter Pokemon by using them in the Masters 8 finals. The one reason I think this may not happen now is because now that we've seen Leon's Rillaboom in battle, they don't need to show off all of the others since we've already seen Ghost, Inteleon, and Cinderace. So unless they want to show off their Gigantamax forms in battle as a way to foreshadow Go getting his own Gigantamax, I don't see Leon using them at all. The third option when it comes to Pokemon available is Seismitoad, and the only reason for him to use Seismitoad is as a way to stop Ash's Pikachu, but one, that isn't going to work at all, and two, I already have him using Rhyperior, so having it on this team wouldn't serve any real purpose. So that leaves me with my last option, which is a Pokemon that isn't on any of his teams, and the Pokemon I went with was Single Strike style Urshifu, which I think perfectly suits Leon, who's called the unbeatable champion. I know this would make his team insanely overpowered, but I do think it's possible for a few reasons. The first being that we didn't get to see too much of it in the anime outside of a few appearances in Project Mew, so this would not only give us a chance to see it more, but also for Ash to battle it. The second reason is I think it would make for a great challenge for Ash's Pokemon to overcome, especially Mega Lucario, if it wins against Single Strike style Urshifu. The third and main reason I think it's possible is because Leon's Master Mustard is the one who gives you a Cubfu on the Asile of Armor, so Leon having an Urshifu isn't outside of the realm of possibility, so I think it would make for a great surprise in reference to not only Mustard but also the Asile of Armor. I know Urshifu would make his team insanely overpowered and would probably give people Tobias flashbacks, but I think this would only add to the credibility of Leon's title and to the hype of the tournament, since this is to decide who the best trainer in the world is. Plus, we've seen Ash use a Mythical, an Ultra Beast, and a Z move in the same battle, so this wouldn't be too far out of the realm of possibility for the world champion to have a legendary and a Gigantamax on his team. When it comes to who I think his main trio will be, I'm going with his Galarian Star Tournament team of Aegislash, Dragapult, and Charizard, since when it comes to speed, power, and defense, this is probably his best trio, and is made up of Pokemon that are on all of his teams. With that being said, what did you think of my full team for Leon, and what Pokemon would you change or add to it, and what matchups do you want to see Leon and Ash have in their battle? That being said, be sure to give me your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and bye.